Hello, fourth grade. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how we're going to be making our cityscapes. And we're going to make this with tempera paint. And tempera is different than watercolor because it's a little bit thicker. And so obviously what I want you to do is I want you to put your name and your class code on the back. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, let me darken this up to make sure that you can see that. All right, now I'm going to flip my paper over. So today, since we're starting our cityscape, we're only going to start the background because we know that painting order and layering of detail takes patience, it takes time, and so we know that we need to wait for things to dry in order to layer colors over one another. So I'm just going to be doing the background, and I'm also going to be doing the water. I'm not going to be doing the details on the water. I'm going to be doing just the water because those other details are going to mix in when it's wet. So let me get started on that. All right, so today you're going to get a plate of paint from me. I know mine is all kind of like all over the place, but that's okay. Make it work. So you're going to be getting a plate of blue, purple, orange, yellow, and red. And so let me just look at our cityscape right now. So it's up to you how you want to paint the sky. I'm going to be doing it kind of in this style, kind of like a sunset kind of style, but you can do it however you like. But we want to make sure that we are using painting order and layering of detail. So one key thing to getting a nice smooth blending technique is to get your brush wet because that's going to allow colors to mix together and it's going to allow for you to get nice smooth blending. All right, so I'm going to start at the top and I'm going to start with a purple because that's going to be going kind of like into the night. So on top, oh, that's okay. I got a little drop on there. That is okay because that's going to dry. We're going to paint over that as well. So I'm just going back and forth in horizontal strokes. You want to go right to the edge of the paper because we don't want any excess white space. Okay, I think that's good for there. So now, since my paint is still wet, that's good because I'm going to blend. And my paper's kind of bending right now because of the paint. Now I'm going to go into my red. I still have purple on my brush. That's okay. I'm going to go kind of in to my purple, overlapping that a bit. Overlapping helps the blending. Going really high up in the purple, that's okay. Looks really nice. Now I'm going to wash my brush off because I'm going to go into my orange. Well, actually, I'm going to add a little bit more red. Just a teensy bit more. So my orange can blend very well with that. We might be getting to the middle ground or the details today. It depends on how fast your paint dries. All right, I'm going to go dip my brush in my water. Now it's time for some yellow. Hello, yellow. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, blend, blend. Blend, 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 blend. Maybe add a little more yellow. Okay. All right, so now that I have that, now I'm going to really wash off my brush because I'm going to go right into the water with some blue. I have way too much blue. Why did I give myself so much blue? I'll be giving you less. And so it's okay if it you don't want to like blend the blue in, but it's okay if it kind of mixes because we're going to be covering it up with a cityscape. So no worries about that. I'm going to lay that on pretty thick, still going in horizontal strokes. Still going to the edge of the page. We're getting paint on the table. That's okay. We will wipe these off, or wipe the table off. I mean, not the painting, when we are done. All right. So that looks pretty good. So now we're going to leave this to dry for a little bit. You can either leave it at your spot and just kind of watch it dry. Like, see, it might dry pretty fast. Like, I can already tell. Like, there's nothing coming off of my purple. My purple's already drying, so we can get to the middle ground soon. So go ahead and clean off your brush. You're probably going to want to get a smaller brush for, well, if you have a big one, but you're probably going to want a smaller one for the middle ground and the details, so we're going to let that dry. Okay, so it's been like 5 to 10 minutes, and my paper now kind of looks like this. That's because of the paper getting wet and it's kind of curling up, but most of it is pretty dry, except for like that little spot of blue right there. So I'm just going to kind of uncurl it. Hopefully you washed off your spot during this period. And so my hands aren't getting dirty. I'm just kind of bending it to make it do what I want to do, because I want to get that cityscape on there. I want to get that on there. All right. So I'm going to be doing this something that kind of looks like Milwaukee. I'm going to have like kind of like an art museum and like the skyline of Milwaukee, but you can do whatever city that you want to do. So then when you're ready for the middle ground, then you're going to be getting black from me, and I would suggest a smaller brush. All right, so let me look back at my... So I'm going to be looking at, or I'm going to be referencing this when I paint. So I'm noticing there's the art museum. It's kind of like a triangle shape with another triangle shape with kind of like a stick sticking out of it. There's a low building. There's like a medium and high building and then stuff like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's all right. No worries. So I'm going to be doing that. So let's see. I'm going to start on the water line get my brush wet, because I want it to glide, kind of make the shape for the art museum. It's kind of going up there, and this is a silhouette, so everything's going to be darkened in. We're going to add details in the foreground later, and that includes lights or lines, other areas. So I'm going to be kind of going along. It's got to be sitting on some ground, so I'm going to add some ground as I go. All right, and then for the water, we're also going to make a shadow kind of casting on the water, and this is how you can do that. You can make the shape on the water just like you made right here in your silhouette, but also what you can do, what I like to do, I like to just give kind of hints of the shape, so I'll go kind of like that just to show, and I'll add other colors too later. Just kind of showing the reflection of the water. So you're going to want to kind of hint at that shape, and also the length of the shape. Like this one is pretty tall, so I'm going to hint that that is pretty tall. So that's going to go almost to the bottom, kind of like that. And then thicker shapes. Just kind of mimicking the flow of the water. Keep your brush wet so it's nice and smooth. And do any refining that you need to do. I see a few spots. There we go. All right, so that is our background and our middle ground. Next time, what we're going to do is we're going to start our foreground and any other details. Thanks for watching.